Hey Sagittarius, it's Angela. How are you doing? It's August, and we're here to do your reading for Sag, Sun, Moon, and Rising, and also anyone else that wants to explore this topic. These are soul guidance readings. They're intuitively driven. They are not, really don't apply to external or predictive things that are going on in your life. It starts with your inner being, and then we tap into a topic or an aspect of yourself that we can explore a little bit. And then, following the guidance and, really staying open to it is what helps to have effect in your outer world, in those relationships and other people and other situations. But it starts within, and we follow the guidance from the inside out. Okay. We have a card, an oracle card that I pulled from this deck, Wild Mystic. And the card I pulled for you, Sag, is love. This is depicted by the swans. If you see, all of these cards have an animal meaning or an animal representation. And the swan is the love card. Swans, they mate for life, right? They're very loyal, they're committed. They represent love. And this could be, family love. This could be relationship love, self-love. These are all, love is the energy that drives us all. So this is beautiful. It's asking you to sort of tap into that love that's within you to help you navigate through things in your life. And the spread we have here with the Zen Tarot cards is going to give us a little more detail on that. Okay. So we have your starting point here, Sag, as the rebel. Look at that. So that self-love and that loyalty to yourself starts with showing up as yourself, right? Leading the way with the uniqueness that you carry, right? This guy, there's chains down here, bound his feet, and they're breaking because he's like, yeah, no, I'm not gonna adhere to what others need from me. I'm not gonna stay in a corner, in this one spot. I'm gonna go ahead and break those chains and just be my full self and let that guide me forward. And I love that because that shows the highest level of self-love that could be. But if when I said your topic was love, if the first thing you thought of was in a relationship, like in a family member or with a lover or a spouse, then this is a calling for you to remember the fullest sense of who you are is an important factor in that relationship, in sustaining that love, right? Continue to be who you are. Do not let it mold you into, do not let the other mold you into somebody that you're not. That won't work. That won't be a mate for life kind of a thing. It will wear itself out. It's showing up as your full self and honoring it in every step of the way. I'm going to keep going with the self-love thing though, because I love how that broke out right away with, to go along with the love card. So your fullest sense of being is important here. Internally, supporting that rebel vibration is this burden card. See, this is the opposite of that. This is all the thoughts you have about yourself that you think you should be, all those shoulds, woulds, and coulds, right? It's the opposite of this rebel spirit. It's more like, they expect me to be this way. Or even if this is talking about the self-love aspect, I should show up like this. This is how I need to, I need to express myself with a quiet voice. I shouldn't break chains and go forward. And this is within you. This is something that's internal that this may be some self-talk that goes on where you try to talk yourself out of your fullest sense of being. That probably needs to be worked on a little bit if that's going on. Or this is a reminder to you to stay away from those burdensome thoughts because those hold you in those chains, right? So being your fullest self, your fullest sense of who you are, your unique self, and loving that is a really important thing for you to tap into right now, Sag. In your external world, this sense of the rebel and keeping in mind when those mental expectations arise, I got flowering. So this is kind of saying, you know, maybe people expect things of me, and maybe that's something that might be important, but what's most important is my intention and what my fullest self needs to see growing and blossoming in my life, right? So this is kind of the seeds of intention that you plant showing up and blooming and coming out. And because it's in this external position, it's really a matter of kind of just waiting it out, just making sure to quiet those burdensome thoughts, those thoughts of I'm not enough, or I shouldn't this, and I don't love myself. Quiet those thoughts, be yourself. Don't worry about the consequences. You're not going to harm anyone, right? As long as you don't harm anyone. Be your full self, and then watch how your life blossoms from there. Watch how things grow. The key to moving forward is this card, and that's turning in. See, this is getting more in touch with your inner alignment, with your inner being, with how you feel deep inside, right? This water is showing up as, you know, depth of feeling. How do you feel about some of this, you know, negative self-talk? How do you feel about being your fullest sense of self, right? You know, get in tune with the love that's deep within you. Get in tune with it. Quiet your mind. This figure, she has all these haunting figures around her. You know, those are those kind of those burdensome thoughts kind of floating around in her head, but she can still rest in the center, not letting these really break through her own barrier of being, her way of being. She can stay and rest in the middle of all this stuff going on around her, because she's connected and aligned and tapped into her love. Okay. So that's the key to moving forward, is to stay aligned within, stay in touch with how you feel, love yourself fully, be yourself fully. Okay. Then we get to this next level of consciousness here, and look at that. We got the master. So you're getting this, Sag. You have every potential to rise above any kind of limitations that are in your life, that are maybe expectations or maybe even frustrations in a love relationship, in a relationship that you have, in a family relationship. Those expectations, they're kind of like, they're burdensome thoughts, and they don't need to be there. This is where you need to be, right? Risen above it, with your higher self on board, connected to spirit, and knowing just the fact that you were born into this world, you're fully loved, you're fully lovable, and you're so much more than enough, right? And that is, I love that when it comes to that self-love aspect, because you're always held, you're always supported by spirit, and you're getting that. The more you tune in and align and continue to show up as your full, authentic, unique being, the more you do that and quiet those other mental thoughts and just connect with your spirit and connect with who you are, the higher you'll rise, right? As far as your approach to life, to the way you interact with others, there will be a higher power on board with you. And that comes from your own inner work. Okay, internally, the card that supports this mastery is creativity. And that's another calling for you to just show up as your full self. What are you inspired to say and do and be? Say and do and be that, right? Whatever inspires you, wherever this is, you know, like full self-expression. And that's an internal energy. So it's within you that you realize, you know, if I show up authentically in every moment, I will attract all the love that is par on that level with, you know, with my inner being. I'll attract all that love. If I keep things clear within me and stay attuned to the fullest sense of who I am, and then remember to express that as I go, that will draw well, first of all, that is the act of self-love. And then it will also draw more love, right? The more you're aligned and stay, you know, in your authenticity, the more of that will show up in your life as well. The external card and the outcome or the overview into this reading is sharing. And this is that knowing your full self, you know, tuning into it, knowing it within, and giving it out to the world, and sharing all your riches and all the unique ways that you see life, that you approach life, that you engage with others. You know, be open and give that inner love, right, out into the world, and it will come back to you multifold, right? It's just staying in that love energy. The only real block kind of a card here is this burden card. So it's really your mind, and it's really actually your only mental card in this spread. So your mind has the ability to kind of block all this, to not let the love show up, to keep you from fully loving your whole being exactly as it is. But it's only one card in this. So I feel like that's just kind of like a little reminder to keep yourself in the flow of your fullest sense of being, because everything else is kind of saying, you got this, you're opening up, you're evolving and growing and becoming more of who you are. And it's a beautiful thing. And it will attract and sustain and, you know, keep a lot of love in your experience as well. If you just stay aligned, stay yourself. All right. Okay, Sag, that'll do it for now. It's good to see you guys. I'll be back in a couple weeks with some more readings. And until then, see you soon.